Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to talk about a band that's new to the channel called the Runaways. The Runaways came together in 1975. They had a manager in Kim Fowley. He's been described, let's say, as one of the most colorful characters in the annals of rock and roll, as well as a shadowy cult figure well outside the margins of the mainstream. So his managing of these five young women, all teenagers, all underage at the time of their signings, matter of fact, I believe. I don't know. There's all these conspiracies. There's all these things that may have happened that may have been unsavory, may not have been. But that doesn't really take away from the band that they were. Early on, they got a hit single in 1976 called Cherry Bomb. Today we're going to take a look at the promo clip for that, which I've never seen. Now, I have heard the single, but have not seen really any footage of them. I thought this would be a good place to start. So, Adrian, you know anything about this band?
Just Joan Jett.
That's right. Yep.
Well, I've heard a few of her songs back in the day, around like the early 80s, but I hadn't really heard anything other than that.
So she's still got a thriving career. It's just she's not necessarily in the mainstream anymore. But yeah, she had at least one number one hit.
There was I Love Rock and Roll, and there was Crimson and Clover.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember some other ones. I probably heard a couple others.
The band also included Lita Ford, who went out and struck out on her own and also had a successful solo career. So the entire band was Lita Ford, Sandy West, Jackie Fox, Joan Jett, and Cherie Currie. Cherie being lead vocals, Jackie Fox being bass, Sandy being the drums, and, of course, Lita and Joan on guitars. And they were a pretty good band, from what I've heard. But, again, haven't really seen anything. So, looking forward to that. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the video.
Yeah, okay. Let's check it out.
Can't stay at home, can't stay at school. Old folks say you're pulling a fool. Down the street, I'm the girl next door. I'm the fox you've been waiting for. Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Hello, world. I'm your wild girl. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Donate love and straight sounds too. Come on, baby, let me get to you. Bad nights causing teenage blues. Get down, ladies, you got nothing to lose. Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Hello, world. I'm your wild girl. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Hello, world. I'm your wild girl. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Hey, street boy, want some style? Your dead and dreams don't make you smile. I'll give you something to live for. Have you and grab you till you're sore. Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mom. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Hello, world. I'm your wild girl. I'm your Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb.
Wow.
1976.
Great to hear.
Yeah, it's a good band. I don't know. I mean, this is soon after the glam rock era, so they kind of snuck in there. But the fact is, they were all pretty young at the time. So, yeah, that band was made up of two 17-year-olds and three 16-year-olds, all dressed up kind of, corsets and everything like that. It's like, in the mid-'70s. Kind of risque, but that was a hit, at least in Japan. And it's a great song. You can't deny they were a good band.
Yeah.
They deserve some credit for that. Now, I know a lot of people refer to them as pioneers. I'm not sure if they were pioneers per se. They certainly were among the early female-driven bands, but there was Fanny, who came about 5 years before that, maybe even a little earlier. They were female-driven band, hard rock. Of course, there was Janis Joplin. She was the only woman in her band and ran the band.
Yeah, she had her own style, too.
But really, Janis, it was like she was the artist. Big Brother was more collaborative, but after that, the 2 albums after, she was on her own. Ace of Cups, another band that was around in San Francisco towards the late 60s.
Cups. Sounds like tarot cards.
Ace of Cups, yeah.
Yeah.
Their debut album came out something like 2016, much, much later, because they couldn't get a record deal because of what they were. And, of course, soon after this, we have the Go-Go's. Also had the Bangs, which became the Bangles, and they were a little bit closer to the Spirit anyway. One of the future members of the Bangles was in an early version of the Runaways. So Mickey Steele, who became Michael Steele in the Bangles. But that's where they fit in the puzzle of kind of women's rock music at that point in time. Adrian, you're going to say?
I was thinking of, although the Runaways are way better, is Vanity 6. You remember them? They were like...
Yeah, were they rock and roll?
They were one of Prince's side projects.
Were they rock and roll, per se?
I wouldn't call them rock and roll myself. They were probably more like R&B, I suppose.
Sure. Well, yeah, if you were going to go with bands that were put together, yeah, it looks like it was three female singers, right, put together as the band. Yeah, I mean, we had the Supremes in the 60s and other groups like that. So that sort of thing was not unheard of. The fact that they were playing rock music and they were basically running the show instead of having somebody backing them, like Vanity 6, Prince is backing them. That's what kind of set them apart. Now, the Runaways I don't think they could have gone out and did what they did on their own without somebody managing them aggressively, most likely, just because, just their age. You can't even sign a contract. In fact, that may have been an issue. So there were other female groups, Bananarama, things like that came along, Mary Jane Girls. But things like the Bangles and the Go-Go's and the Runaways all had in common that they wrote their own stuff. And they went out and they were a band, they were doing it as a female band. So if anybody out there actually saw the Runaways, I'd be interested in hearing about that, especially if you saw them in Japan, where they seem to have had a big fan base, and one of their live albums is from there, or actually the big live album is from there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you all later.